In this video, we will look at multiplying a whole number by a decimal greater than 1 using a number line. The focus of this standard is using models, drawings, and strategies based on place value to compute problems. Let's take a look at how we can use a number line to multiply 2 and 76 hundredths times 3. Before we begin to solve, we want to estimate so that once we have our final product, we can determine whether it is reasonable or not. When I look at 2 and 76 hundredths, I think about rounding that to 3 wholes. And then I know that 3 times 3 is equal to 9. So that lets me know that our actual answer will be around 9. However, I know that it will actually be less than 9 since I rounded the factor of 2 and 76 hundredths up when I rounded it to 3 for my estimate. So again, my answer will be around 9, but less than 9. I'm going to begin by drawing an open number line. And now I know I need to show 2 and 76 hundredths 3 times. One way that makes sense to me to do this with a number line is to decompose 2 and 76 hundredths and multiply each part times 3. So I'm going to look first at the 2 wholes. I know that I need to show 2 wholes 3 times. So I'm going to start at 0, and I'm going to make a jump of 2 wholes. So that's once. I'll need to jump 2 wholes again. So now I would be at 4, and then I'll need another group of 2 wholes. So I would be at 6. So I have shown 2 wholes 3 times. I'm going to switch colors, but this is not something you need to do on a number line. I'm just going to do this so you can see how we're decomposing. Next, I'm going to look at the 7 tenths. I know I need to show 7 tenths 3 times. You could also try to jump the 76 hundredths 3 times if you wanted to, but I just think decomposing it will make it a little bit easier to work with. So I know I need to show 3 groups of 7 tenths. So I'm going to start with one group of 7 tenths. And I know that 6 wholes plus 7 tenths would be 6 and 7 tenths. Now I need 2 more groups of 7 tenths. It may be a little bit hard to add 7 tenths onto 6 and 7 tenths. So I'm actually going to decompose my next group of 7 tenths so that I can work with friendlier numbers. I'm going to split that group of 7 tenths up into 3 tenths. Because I know that if I add 3 tenths to 6 and 7 tenths, I would be at 7 wholes. And now to continue that group of 7 tenths, or to complete it, I know I would need 4 more tenths. So now by adding 3 tenths and then 4 more tenths, I would have added the entire 7 tenths. I just did it in a friendlier way. Now I'm at 7 and 4 tenths. Now I need to jump another group of 7 tenths because I need 7 tenths 3 times. And again, it might be easy for me to decompose this rather than just trying to jump all 7 tenths at once. I know that if I made a jump of 6 tenths, I could get to the friendly number of 8 wholes, and then I would have 1 more tenth left to jump, and I would be at 8 and 1 tenth. So again, I decomposed the 7 tenths here into 6 tenths plus 1 tenth just to make it a little easier to add. And my second group of 7 tenths, I decomposed into 3 tenths plus 4 tenths to make it a little easier to work with as well. You might not need to do that. You might just jump the 7 tenths all at once and be able to work with that mentally. But otherwise, that is something that you can do. And now we need to show the last part of this 2 and 76 hundredths was the 6 hundredths. And I know I need that 3 times. So I'm going to make one jump of 6 hundredths. And I know that 8 and 1 tenth plus 6 hundredths would be 8 and 16 hundredths. Now I know that if I add 6 more hundredths to that, I would be at 8 and 22 hundredths, because I know 16 hundredths plus 6 more hundredths is 22 hundredths. And then I know if I have one more group of 6 hundredths, because I needed 6 hundredths 3 times, I would have 8 and 22 hundredths plus 6 hundredths would be 8 and 28 hundredths. And so that would be my final answer. And so this would let me know that 2 and 76 hundredths times 3 is 8 and 28 hundredths. And when I compare that to our estimated answer, we had said that our answer would be around 9. I know that 8 and 28 hundredths is pretty close to 9, so that is reasonable. Also, remember that we said we recognized that our product would actually be close to 9, but a little bit less than 9, since we had rounded our factor of 2 and 76 hundredths up when we said that it was 3 times 3 for our estimate. And so it makes sense that my answer of 8 and 28 hundredths is close to 9, but actually a little bit less than 9. And so that's how we can multiply a decimal by a whole number on a number line when our decimal number is greater than 1.